welcome back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host, who else but the Natty Teacher. And today, we got our second leg day of the week. More of a glutes and hams day than anything, I would say, for sure. But regardless, definitely some good direct quad work in there as well. But again, I would definitely make the argument that it is more of a glute and ham day than anything else. That is for sure. Definitely more of a glute and ham day than anything else. So, what do we got on the docket? Let's see. First of all, we're all fueled up. Had a little extra food today. Remember, this is just a little tip for you. If you're ever looking to essentially kind of fuel up for a workout, let's say, maybe you want to train your legs a little bit harder, or maybe not even harder, but you want to have more fuel for your leg day, I wouldn't just focus on the meal directly before your training session, and that is going to be like the deciding factor of your performance. What I mean by that is I wouldn't necessarily just be like, oh, well, if I add an extra 50 to 100 grams of carbs to my pre-workout meal, I'm going to have sick pumps and I'm going to have, all this energy and all that. And sure, you might get a little bit extra from that depending on how long before your training session that meal is, and if it's had time to digest and all that. But in reality, you should be thinking of like the day before or like the evening before, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to, I just want to put it into perspective. This would be my idea at least. But if you're trying to like really fuel up for a workout, think of like the night before, like before you go to bed. What is that meal looking like? And then maybe your first couple meals of the day, like let's say you're working out like me at 3 p.m., you eat 4 meals before you work out. What are those first couple meals look like? Because those are the meals that actually have a chance of actually breaking down and at least digesting, maybe not fully, but a little bit, and getting into your system to actually utilize as that fuel for your workout. Okay, so don't follow, I'm not saying to not have a larger pre-workout meal. I'm not saying that. Because again, especially depending on how your metabolism is, you very well could blast through that pretty efficiently and be able to utilize some of that. But I would really look at your diet and kind of think, okay, if I'm trying to have a big leg day today, what are my meals looking like maybe the evening before this leg workout or early in the morning, for my first and second meal or whatever? What are those meals looking like? The meals that actually have a chance of breaking down a little bit. So regardless, that's what I would look at. Okay, that is definitely my idea. That's what I would look at, just a tip. You don't have to follow it. It's just a piece of advice if you are wanting to have a little extra fuel in your system for some of your bigger workouts. But exercise selection, what we got on the docket. Starting us out, we got some adductor work, that inner thigh work, trying to especially make it look, really the adductors are for front and back shots more than anything. Because it gives that width to the legs from side to side. Not from the side, but from side to side, from like the back and from the front. It adds a lot of width into the legs for sure, and I've definitely seen some good growth in my adductors since staying consistent with utilizing things like the adductor machine and, good deep squats and all that kind of fun jazz. So we got some adductor work on the docket to start us out. Then we have some lying hamstring curls. That'll be up next. So lying hamstring curls, and then leg extensions. Following leg extensions, we will have our main bigger movement, which is just some little bit of a higher rep Bulgarian split squat on a Smith machine. So you can do these with dumbbells, you can do them with kettlebells if you want, you can do them on a Smith machine, you can do it with a barbell, that's up to you. I've just found that for me, really I haven't messed around with a whole lot of other variations, but just the stability factor that a Smith machine provides is second to none. So I would recommend a split machine for like a Bulgarian split squat for sure. Again, don't have to, just a recommendation. And then after that, we have some glute hyperextensions, and then we have calves. Yeah, so some either seated calf raises or what has become one of my favorite movements, some toe press. Really have seen some good progress in my calves since becoming since not only training them more consistently, but also utilizing movements like toe press on it for sure. I definitely have seen some good progress there. But and then after that, that's it. Cardio was already done this morning. Trained abs directly yesterday. I might do a little bit of direct ab work to get it, started. One other thing. I do have some direct side delt work today. So we do have a little bit of side delt work. So that will actually be, the plan will be to go in there. We'll do probably just 2 sets, nothing super, super crazy, of some like leg raises or maybe some decline crunches, something that is more like body weight, kind of get that trunk nice and warmed up. And then we'll jump into our side laterals or a side raise, whatever you want to call it. But, side laterals probably is a more technical term. So throwing into some side laterals. and then we will get into some leg work after that. So just as heads up, I keep forgetting that I've been upping the frequency to 3 days a week of direct side delt work, and it's been a good thing. Put it that way. Definitely has been a good thing, and I've still been recovering from it. So we're gonna keep rocking with it. But today will probably only be for side delt work. Maybe, I don't know, probably some cable side laterals. Yeah, probably just some cable side lateral raises. Nothing super fancy, nothing super crazy, but just some high rep cable side laterals. So, anyways, yeah. That's kind of all I got for the intro. Kind of a little rant there, little mini rant, and a lot of info for you there. So hopefully that was all right. But first exercise on the docket, again, we got some lying hamstring curls, and those are coming at you. Or lying hamstring curls. What am I talking about? Oh my gosh, it's a Friday, man. It's been a long day. Top set of my first exercise, which is it's on my first leg day of the week. It's lying hamstring curls. But top set of my first exercise. We got, I'm not going to show the side delt work and the ab work. You guys see enough of that in my other videos. But we have some adductor, top set of adductor coming at you right about now. All right, so to get us started for our second leg session of the week, we're starting with some adductor here. So we are full stacking this bad boy. Strength is starting to move up pretty consistently on this exercise, really working them inner thighs, getting a nice range of motion, but not getting too far of a stretch to where we're really putting too much tension on those hip flexors. And I had a little tweak in the hip flexor a while ago when I was doing a little bit almost too far of a range of motion. I noticed that it was a little uncomfortable for me, so I limited that a little bit, and actually have noticed I've made significant progress with the current range of motion I'm using on this exercise. We do 2 working sets here. I like to keep this in that 8 to 15, 10 to 15 type rep range. Really make sure we're bringing those paddles that are inside the knees all the way together and go from there. Great inner thigh builder. I'm a huge fan of the adductor. I think it's phenomenal at the beginning or maybe at the end of your training session for sure. So 2 working sets there. Then lying hamstring curls. Again, really make sure we're emphasizing that nice full range of motion, getting that good stretch, getting that good getting good range of motion, of course, like I just said, and really pumping those hamstrings up. This is a great, one of my favorite hamstring building movements ever, essentially. I've been playing around with this one. My next training block here, I'm actually doing this voiceover. This has been what, little over a week since I did this training session. So I've actually done another leg B session since then. But I have been playing around with a few things with hamstring curls. So in my next training block here, because I am currently in a deload week, but in my next training block, I will mess around a little bit with the lying hamstring curls. Just as far as how I want to utilize them, because I'd like to move load up a little bit more and control just a little bit more as well. But still, felt really good. Again, I would say that 8 to 15, 10 to 15 type rep range works really well. 2 working sets here. Then leg extensions. Ooh, boy, howdy. Making sure we're getting that nice full stretch. I like to grip in the back of the seat here, kind of lean back as far back as that seat, that back like pad will allow me to go. We are full stacking this bad boy, so we are going to have to start adding some weight to this. But again, making sure that we are really trying to control the weight, get that nice hard squeeze at the top or in that fully shortened position. So when the quads are fully shortened, so at the top of the movement, like right here, making sure we're getting that nice squeeze in that rec fem, that top part. It kind of looks like the diamond in the top of your quad that like pops out at the very top, kind of about halfway up your quads. That is really what we're trying to target for the most part here with this exercise. I like to do this one with the toes pointed in. It rotates the knees ever so slightly in. I can't take credit for that. That's a John Jewett thing. So he gave that tip as far as rotating your knees in on leg extensions, and I've actually found this to be much more comfortable on the knees, when you're pointing the toes in, which allows the knees to rotate in. So I've found this to be way more comfortable on the knees for sure, but a lot more emphasis on the quads. So 2 working sets there. Again, 10 to 15 rep range works just fine. Then some Bulgarian split squats on the Smith machine here. Now, this is a new exercise for me in this training block. So I just completed my first training block. So right now, the plan is to do 3. I was initially going to do 2 6-week training blocks with 2 deloads. Well, now that's shifted a little bit. Now the plan is actually to do 3 5-week deloads, 5-week deloads, 5-week training sessions, or like 3 5-week training blocks, with a deload after. So I did one 5-week training block already. Again, I am currently in that first deload week. We'll run the same exercises again for another 5 weeks, deload, run the same exercises again for another 5 weeks, deload, and then we will have some exercise variation put in for sure. So working with this one, I like to keep these reps a little bit, not higher, but I'm not trying to do like a set of 6. We're really trying to focus on really, again, that 8 to 12, 10, 8 to 12, 8 to 15-ish rep range seems to work really well. Get a nice range of motion, but don't go too far. I actually have been using a bench instead of this like box, and like in my last training session was actually able to add a couple reps because I realized I was actually almost going a little too far. So I was able to do a set of 15 compared to here I did like a set of 12 per leg. This past week I was able to do top set of 15 and then a back off set of 12 with the bench, and felt much more comfortable, hit the areas I wanted to hit a little bit more. So again, 2 working sets there, 8 to 15, 10 to 15 rep range. Kind of, you're me preaching to the choir, man. That's kind of how it always is for me. Maybe except on this one. Glute hypers, I do prefer to keep a little bit higher. So I'm getting, I kind of outgrew the plate a little bit. So I'm starting to move up in like dumbbells here. So I think this one's like a 60 or 65 pound dumbbell. This past week we were able to use like a 70 pound dumbbell. But again, really, really making sure we have our feet kind of higher up, on the actual like foot paddles there, high and wide, toes pointed out, and making sure that we are pulling up with the glutes and the hamstrings, not just like with the lower back. Of course, you're going to feel in lower back. It's physically impossible to not feel this in the lower back. But again, this one I do like to keep a little higher. I would say that 12 to 20 rep range is ideal here. So you'll notice a lot of my rep ranges, especially for lower body, but really for most body parts for me right now, are in that 8 to 12, 8 to 15, 8 to 20 type rep range. You're not going to see me doing a whole lot less than that. So 2 working sets here. Leg B session in the freaking books. There were 3 things I did not record during that workout. Started my workout with 2 sets on the Roman chair, just some leg raises, both sets of 15, just body weight. Then did 2 working sets of cable side laterals, again, both sets of 15. And then at the very end of my workout, I did 3 working sets of seated calves. That was between the 8 to 10 rep range. So those 3 exercises were not recorded. Everything else, though, was. So you can kind of get the idea of what I was rocking and rolling with. But awesome session. I am tired-o for sure, nice and sleepy. But I'm going to go home, get my post-workout meal in, get cleaned up for the evening. And then I know my wife and I, we got a couple errands we got to run. So stop at a couple grocery stores, get some things. And after that, just chill, man. Just chilling the next couple days. Just relaxing, getting some good sleep, getting some good food. And when I say good food, I mean, my normal food, just my normal, regular planned meals. But, I'm excited. I'm excited to just be able to relax and sleep, man. Sleep. I feel like this week I've just not gotten ideal sleep, So I'm excited to really get in there and, or get home, I should say, and just get some good rest and get a lot of sleep this weekend. So other than that, man, rest day tomorrow, eat big tonight, lots of sleep, lots of relaxing, hanging out. Next session that'll be uploaded after this is another push day. So a week. I think it's week 5 of this training block already. Holy crap. Dude, time is going a little too fast. Yeah, this will be week, holy crap, this will be week 5. I have 2 more heavy weeks before I deload. What? That's wild, dude. That's crazy, man. And then I have another 6 weeks after that, and then that's it. Then I'm done with the training block. I have another new training block after that again. Holy crap, Pundus. That is nutso, man. That is El Nutso for sure. Anyways, wow. Regardless, that's all I got for you, man. I don't got words, especially the right ones right now, but make sure you like and share the video if you have not already. Let your friends know that the Natty teacher is back in school. We have been for a while. It's already November next week. We've been back in school for a minute at this point now. But if you have not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, really helps the channel out, and hey, above everything, I really appreciate it, man. I really do. And if you have any questions, comments, feedback, criticisms, constructive, hopefully, drop that all in the comment section below. If you do have any kind of like private message or something, or if you would like some personal advice or just advice in general with training or what have you, please feel free to reach out to me at the Natty Teacher on both Instagram and TikTok, and drop a message in there. And as soon as I see it, I will absolutely respond to it. And yeah, that's about all I got, man. So first and foremost, God bless. Second of all, I am the Natty Teacher, and this episode of Road to Natty Pro is out. I will catch y'all on the next one.